Good morning, good afternoon, good evening internet, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, Economical Rides. Hi there, and welcome back to the channel. I'm sure many of you are here to find out whether or not I bought a Super Meteor, but before we get into that, I'd just like to say a big thank you to everyone who watched my previous video of the test ride of the Super Meteor. I also gained quite a few subscribers with that video, so thank you to everyone who's joined the channel and welcome. And I've also enjoyed getting to know many new viewers through the comments. Thank you for your comments. They were all very positive. And I really appreciated you taking the time to let me know how you found the video. So let's get into the actual theme of this video. Did I buy a Super Meteor? Actually, I'd like to keep you in suspense just a little bit longer because there's something I forgot to mention in the previous video, and it might be of particular interest to Meteor 350 owners considering an upgrade to the Super Meteor. I forgot to mention that actually the feet ergonomics on the Super Meteor are completely different to those you may know from the Meteor. Let me explain. So on the Meteor 350, you have your feet on the footrest, you have your toes and your entire foot more or less parallel to the ground, and you have the shift lever and the brake lever more or less directly under your feet. Now, although the Super Meteor gives me a similar sense in many ways to the Meteor, in terms of the foot ergonomics, it is completely different. So that's something to consider. So on the Super Meteor, you have your heel on the footrest, you have your toes pointing into the sky, and somewhere up there you'll find the brake pedal and the shift lever. If you've got smallish feet like I have, I think I have a size 7 foot, so I was able to reach the pedal and the lever, but it was a bit of a stretch. I mean, it was never dangerous. I was always able to brake or change gear when I needed to, but it was a little bit odd, and it probably takes some getting used to, and maybe even people with very small feet might actually struggle to reach the controls. So that's definitely something where I would say try before you buy if you can, because although the bike does have a similar vibe to the Meteor, the foot ergonomics are totally different. So I just wanted to mention that. And another downside of the foot ergonomics on the Meteor 650 is the fact that if you imagine you've got your heel on the footrest, you've got your toes pointing up in the air. So basically you have the sole of your foot square into the wind. Now I did notice at 70 miles per hour that the wind starts pushing your feet off the footrest. You're constantly fighting to keep your foot on the footrest at that speed. And I imagine if you were doing a long day, you were trying to cover big miles, and you were on the motorway, and you said, right, we've got 3 hours of motorway to do, having to fight the wind to keep your foot on the footrest could get quite tiring and quite annoying as well. So anybody that's looking to do a lot of high-speed riding, long hours in the saddle at high speeds, you're probably going to have to look at getting some footboards or something just to keep the wind off your feet, so you're not constantly fighting to keep your feet on the footrest. So that's just something I completely forgot to mention. It's a little bit odd for me, but you will get used to it, I imagine. But it's completely different to the Meteor, so I forgot to mention that it is completely different. Worth bearing in mind, worth trying before you buy, just in case you don't get on with it. Right, so now, finally, my decision is... Well, after much consideration, I have finally decided that I won't be buying a Super Meteor, and I'll give you my reasons for that, but let me assure you, it's definitely not the bike's fault. It's just purely down to my personal circumstances. So, the main reason I won't be buying the Super Meteor is because it doesn't actually do anything that I can't do at the moment that I actually need. So let me explain that. Basically, where I live at the moment, most of my riding is done on roads where the fastest I'm going to be going is 90 kilometers per hour or about 55 miles per hour, and my two 350s will do that all day. Where the Super Meteor would definitely be an advantage would be on fast road riding, or if I was going to be doing a longer trip away with luggage and possible motorway work, then of course a 650 would be much more comfortable, much more enjoyable than the 350s. But if I'm being honest with myself, that's not something I'm ever going to do. Certainly not at the moment, in the current situation. I can't go on long rides because I have to get back for Ruby. I can't leave her on her own for too long. So that kind of prevents me from doing any touring at the moment or anything like that. And I don't really ever have to ride on fast roads. I can avoid them. It's not the kind of riding I like to do anyway, and within my radius of possible riding areas, there really aren't any fast roads anyway. So I just decided that basically, as much as it's a nice bike and it would be a nice thing to have, for me, in my situation, at the moment, it doesn't solve an issue. It doesn't actually do anything that I need. I should just add, bearing in mind that I was facing the prospect of trading in one of my two bikes to be able to afford the Super Meteor, and then having to pay an additional nearly 5,000 on top of the valuation because I wanted the Celestial version. So I would be looking at sacrificing one bike plus spending nearly 5,000 euros on top just to get this bike. And if it doesn't really fulfill an actual need that I have, I can't really justify it. Unfortunately, the economical part of my channel name is very deep rooted. So at the end of the day, it was too much money for no tangible benefit. So in my current circumstances, I wouldn't buy one. So this isn't a critique of the bike at all, or a criticism of the bike at all, because I totally ignored the vibration issue because I think that's a non-issue. I don't think any other bike is going to be like the one that I tried. Plenty of people with 650s in the comments have told me they don't vibrate significantly at motorway speeds. So I managed to put that in a box. I didn't even consider that. I just assumed that if I were to get one, it wouldn't have that issue. The actual fact of the matter is, in my situation at the moment, the Super Meteor doesn't really add anything that I need, and it would have been a very expensive purchase as well. So that's why I won't be getting one at the moment. It's still on my list of bikes I would like to have, and if my circumstances should ever change, that I can go touring, that I can do things that I can't do at the moment. For instance, if I decided I wanted to simplify my garage and I wanted to sell all of the bikes and just have one bike which covered all bases, I think I'd probably put the Super Meteor at the top of that list, because apart from the off-road thing, which probably by then I've grown out of, I no longer want to do, it would be a really good all-rounder. So I'm not criticising the bike. I still like the bike. It's still on my wish list, but I can't justify getting one at the moment. But everyone's circumstances will be different. I think it's a great bike for a lot of people. So if you're just honest with yourself, especially if you're coming from the Meteor 350, just be honest with yourself. Ask yourself, do I need it? Does it actually solve a problem that I'm currently facing? Because bear in mind, it is quite an expensive bike to buy. It will be using more fuel every time you go out on it. It is more weight for you to be heaving in and out of the garage every time you go out. So everyone's weighing up of the situation is going to be different. Everyone's circumstances are different. So yeah, that's basically it. I would like one, but I'm not going to get one because it doesn't really make sense for me at the moment. There you go. Thank you very much for watching. I hope that was helpful. Maybe has given some of you food for thought. It is a worthwhile upgrade, but only if your circumstances make it a worthwhile upgrade. That would be my opinion. Please let me know in the comments down below, because I've spoken to quite a few of you now and plenty of new faces as well. Let me know in the comments down below whether you're considering getting one, whether it's still on your list of things to do. And yeah, just let me know if you do get one, how you're getting on with it, because it's interesting for me, because I haven't ruled it out of my future plans at all. So it'd be good to get feedback from people who have actually gone ahead and taken the plunge and bought one, how they're getting on. So I'd really like to hear from you if you're still considering getting one, and if you have got one, how you're getting on with it. So thank you very much for watching this video. Hopefully I haven't been banging on for too long. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you in a future video. Bye bye. So Ruby, Daddy won't be buying a Super Meteor after all. What was that? That leaves more money for sausages. But that's not the reason I didn't buy one, Ruby. The reason I didn't buy one is because I don't actually need one. What was that? You need sausages. Oh dear. All right then, you need sausages. Well, these sausages are from Scott and Wolfie, your friends in California. Sausages. Say thank you, Scott and Wolfie. Thank you, Scott and Wolfie. Nice one.